Hey, everybody, and thank you for checking out the Shipped podcast. I am One Topic. I'm also joined by The Click, who is the other half of this channel. So we're going to be talking about a lot of different topics, one of them being how Click is not on YouTube right now.
Oh my God, it's such a situation. But you're saying we were going to talk about multiple topics, but you're called One Topic. Aren't you contradicting yourself here, good sir?
No, I take each of them at a time, one topic at a time. You stop that. I see that in the comments enough. It's like, why do you discuss anything else at all? Because your name is One Topic, so...
Oh, that's a joke you never seen before. Hoo-hoo.
Anytime the thumbnail has multiple topics in it, they're like, oh, what are you, multiple topic at a time?
No, that's like, yeah, that can be your second channel, or like second topic at a time. There you go.
No, I already have a second channel, and this is the, what, is there a fourth channel?
I guess Sad Milk is also like a second channel, kind of.
Yeah, well worth checking out, Sad Milk. It's going to be a bunch of us different creators in there. And that's something I'm getting used to right now, is thinking of myself as a creator, as a YouTuber. It only recently started becoming a reality. Human One actually talked to me not too long, maybe a week ago, and she said, how does it feel to be a YouTuber? And I got taken aback because I'm like, I'm not, I'm just a human man.
Yeah, I know. Right? It's like that 100K mark, you know. I think that's when it starts feeling real, because it's like, oh my God, this is actually big now. I actually get a plaque from YouTube. I can get my channel verified. It's like, it suddenly becomes real. You're no longer just casually uploading. It becomes something more.
Is that when it felt real for you, once you hit the 100,000 mark?
It did. But mine also, my channel started taking off very fast around 100K. Well, hopefully it comes back. It's still down as the time of this recording. But that's when the same month I hit 100K was also the same month I started actually being able to make a living off of YouTube.
Right.
So I think it kind of hit at the same time. And I was having the biggest crisis, because I woke up one morning. I was actually staying at my girl's place. And I woke up one morning, and as a healthy being, of course, you check your YouTube stats the first thing in the morning, not addictive at all. And I realized that, oh my God, if this keeps going, this will actually be more lucrative than my day job. And that for me was a weird epiphany. And of course, you got to take it with a bit of salt, because if you're self-employed, you got to pay for your own retirement funds and, you know, insurance, that kind of stuff. So it's not a one-to-one scale, but still, it was like, man, this is like an actual salary now. I was like, wow, what happened?
Was your main motivation factor for really focusing on your YouTube channel? I'm not even going to talk about like going full-time yet, but just like really focusing on it, the amount of money you were making, or like the viability of it long-term? Like, did you feel like the money was a good representation of where the channel would be in a few months? Or do you think that was just like a representation of the short-term attention span of people today, where they want to click on something that'll make them cringe?
I think that's an interesting question. I would say that I don't think my main factor for YouTube is the money. I mean, a lot of the most popular content I make is not monetized. Like Noah Get the Boat, for example. A lot of the Make Me Suffer stuff is not monetizable. Cursed comments. All those things are within the lines of YouTube that it's allowed. It usually doesn't get age restricted, but it's not something they want to put ads on, because they don't want to mix it up with advertisers. So I think my main factor is like, I want to build my channel. That's the thing I'm looking for the most. And for me, I kind of diverted my content into two different flows. In that way, I could make it like a job and also make the more cursed stuff that I enjoy. So I had some videos that I decided like, okay, this will not make me a dime, but I think it's really fun and people enjoy watching it. That's like Noah Get the Boat, cursed comments. So that's like, I'm making these and expecting it not to make money. And then I have other videos, for example, Insane Parents, Garfield minus Garfield, other subreddits that are less cursed. And it's like, okay, these are safe cards. I can make these videos. I still think it's fun, but I still want to do the curse stuff. So then I have a flow that's monetized, that actually pay my bills, and I have the other stuff I make just for fun that I don't expect any ad revenue on.
Exactly. I kind of
and I think that's a healthy way of doing it.
I don't know how much time you spent perusing my YouTube channel, but as an example, I have a video called r/suddenlygay. And being supportive of the LGBTQ community at large, LGBTQ plus community at large, I really, really enjoy making videos on topics that tell stories that aren't getting as much attention on YouTube. And one of the trickier things that was found out early last year was that if you put the word gay in your video, if you say it in the title, in the content of it, or as a tag or a description, immediately it will get flagged as not monetizable. But that just means you can go for the manual review at that point. But in the case of many creators, that can happen after it's gone live. So they'll have to wait for it to be monetized while people are watching it within the first few hours. And that's actually happened to me a few times. But in the long term, like these aren't videos I'm expecting to make money on. I make them a couple times a week at least. And one of them is actually, it used to be the most popularly viewed video on the channel. It's at 217,000 views. It's listed at limited monetization, so it's got that yellow symbol, and it's made $37. So
it's like,
and I wouldn't
think it's
say
also
it's not monetizable.
I think it's important to just clarify that for people watching that don't run their own channels, is that when something gets demonetized, it means that because people sometimes, they can show ads still, but you essentially lose like 95% of your profits. So some companies, if they have signed the contract and saying like, hey, I'm okay with my ad showing on more edgy content, you can still get ads on it, but it's only like one of 50 people that get an ad on the video. So you still make money, but it's barely anything. You know, on a video you would make, if I would make $100 on a video normally, on this video I would make like $5. So it's still like monetizable in a very narrow sense, but it's not sustainable.
So a lot of these are like little passion projects for myself. Most of my friends are gay. I have maybe like 2 straight friends, and everyone else is part of the LGBTQ plus community. And when I was growing up, it was never like a weird thing. One of my one of my earlier memories of my dad teasing me, my father teasing me, was he I think I was I was 10 years old. And I was at a pool at some sort of theme park. It might have been like a Disneyland-esque place. I don't think it was Disneyland, but it was something similar. And there were people walking around the pool, and he leaned in and he's like, "Hey, do you want me to start pointing out girls, or do you want me to start pointing out boys?" And my immediate reaction was, "Dad." And he said, okay, I know. It's okay. I know you're not gay, but it's okay if you are. And I was like, "Dad." And he's like, "I know you're not gay, but it's okay if you are." And he would just continue that. And he did it for 6 years. 6 years until I finally met someone. And then he was like, "Oh, you like girls. Okay." But it was never like an issue. He would always accept me for whomever I was. But then going out and realizing that many people aren't accepted for who they are, I realized this was really like normalizing the conversation around people not being accepted and pushing towards that acceptance was something I really wanted to strive for. But as an example, I have a video that has 10,000 views whose revenue is more than the video that has over 200,000 views. So it's
silly.
A monetized video will do much better even at very few views than a video that's put on limited monetization. And towards what you said, there are multiple statuses of monetization. Like there's the green $sign, which is all the ads all the time. Like you said, that's like almost every person will get an advertisement. There's the limited monetization sign, which is the yellow $sign, and that will set it as like one. What did you say? 1 in 50? It might even be fewer. People will see an advertisement.
Yeah, it might be fewer. It's really low.
And I can say that's partly like on the advertisers themselves for not putting those ads there. It's partly on YouTube for not putting their foot down and saying, no, like we want to support creators, but whatever. And then there's also like a red symbol. And that one is when someone else is making the revenue for you. So if you have talked about a movie, for example, corporations can say, no, I'm going to strike this video, but I'll let you continue to have it on your channel. I'll let ads continue to play on it, but they're only going to be paid to us. And you actually lose the ability to edit the ads at that point. Because essentially it's someone else's video.
They can do it instead, which usually means that it's automatically placed, which is, it's a bit annoying.
And then,
but I think it's really good. Like backtracking to the pride things and such, I think it's so good to use platforms like this for even when it's like, it's not like we're doing, a big uprising or anything like that, but I think it's just to use a platform when you have followers to just, talk about topics like this and make it more accepted, more natural. I think that makes a big difference. And I think also I think like being able to joke about it, being able to take it casually, like, hey, it's not a big deal. It's absolutely okay, and it's a part of life. And I love that. It's so good.
It's a part of life. It's a part of who people are. And parents, if you're out there listening, just accept your kids as they are.
Oh,
Why
yeah.
would you want them to be little carbon copies of yourself? That's really creepy. Buy a clone. Like, you made a kid.
Yeah, of course.
A kid is going to be
You
their
know
own
how
human.
yourself
You have to
turned out,
accept that.
parent. Hey, you don't want your kids to be that too. I mean, come on.
Yeah, parents, don't make your kids so jaded. What's wrong with you? Oh, I have to say, I'm really happy about a new purchase that I made. I don't know if you can tell the difference.
Oh, the
So I'm
pop
using
filter.
a plosive,
yeah.
which is like a
Oh,
hard
yeah.
P sound, and I have a pop filter in front of my mic. So whenever I make the sound, say if I'm saying explosive, it doesn't ruin the audio. How cool is that?
It doesn't do the blow thing. It's not this thing. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, you had to go around
can-
your pop
oh.
filter to do that, didn't you?
Yes, I had to lean in like all like suggestively, like hello there, I'm leaning in all close to your topicy wopicky.
Oh, I'm really glad I turned down my audio.
Ooh,
The final monetization status is a gray symbol, and that means that you can't monetize it at all. And that means no one else is
yeah.
getting ads. You're also not getting ads. This video cannot earn money. And it also gets
Yeah, it's
pushed down in the
ineligible.
algorithm, and very few people will watch it.
Yes. Typically, what I noticed as well, which is fascinating, is that you have two statuses of the green symbol. You can have the yellow one. So you have the yellow one when it's just marked as a bot. That's when it tags it for words, for example. If you have, like you said, gay in the
Right.
title, or if you have, a word that was auto detected by the bots in the video, or imagery that was detected to be, not safe for work or whatever, it will be tagged by the bots as demonetizable. But you can appeal this to manual reviewers, and it usually takes like 24 hours. And sometimes they mark it as permanently yellow and say, yeah, it's going to be yellow, or they mark it as green. The fascinating part is that a video that is only marked by the bots is still performing pretty well in the algorithm, but a video that is confirmed yellow by manual review usually absolutely tanks when it comes to recommendations and that kind of stuff. So
Exactly.
if you kind of suspect that a video is going to be demonetized, it's actually better for your video to, if you want to get views and subs for it, to actually not review it. Which sounds very counterintuitive, especially if you want to work with YouTube, because it's like,
I'm not going to request that I should make money from this. That's a good marketing plan.
but in that case, it's actually much better. So a couple of my videos, for example, that I knew, for example, with No I Get the Boat, it's like, it's not so bad. This video would probably not get age restricted. It's not so bad it will break any guidelines, but they won't show it with advertisers, so I don't bother reviewing it in the first place. Yeah. And now my channel is down. Woo.
Yeah, I feel like we were skirting around that a little bit. We mentioned it a couple times, but you made the decision of focusing a lot more time recently on your YouTube channel, of really like crafting it and honing it. And I really respect how you put out like 2 videos or 3 videos a week, depending on like what you feel like, and based on how passionate you are about the specific video you're working on. And you set aside so much time to work on that, but now, based off of one of those manual reviews that someone did, you no longer have the ability to upload or even visit the channel right now.
No, it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. And I got down and started recording again a couple of days ago. So I have a backlog of videos I'm going to try to get up if I get the channel back. It looks promising, but I don't want to jinx it. So, but yeah, it is a weird feeling, because I'm used to bouncing 2 jobs. I'm used to working 70-hour weeks, more or less. And all of a sudden, I was on Christmas leave for a few weeks from my day job, which I'm also quitting, but it takes a couple of months. And now I can't upload YouTube videos. So it's like I went from working 70-hour weeks to like no hours a week. And it's like, what do I do with all this time? It's like, I what? Oh, it's so bad.
It definitely was a surprise. A lot of people don't know. Behind the scenes, a number of us YouTube individuals, I still feel weird calling myself a YouTuber. That's weird.
You're a YouTuber, man.
But a couple of us, well, a number of us YouTube individuals are actually friends behind the scenes. And I had just done a collaborative video with The Click, and that's when I started slowing down on my uploads as well, is when I realized this happened. I had just premiered a video. The comment section had just closed off, 8 minutes beforehand, and I get pinged saying, I get pinged in the comments saying, "Where's the Clicks channel? I know you linked it, but I think the link is broken."
The
So I was
link
like,
doesn't
no
work.
problem,
It's
I'll fix it.
broken. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll click on the link, and then it was like, "This user's channel has been deleted." I was like, "What?" So I hopped into our group chat area, with our friends, and I was like, "Hey, everyone, did I screw up? Can you confirm for me, or did something happen to the click?" And I knew that based on your time zone, you were unconscious, so I didn't want to like ping you directly if this was
Yeah, it was like
not a big
3
deal.
or 4 in the morning for me or something like that.
Exactly, but then immediately like Oz and Illuminati were like, no, we have to wake him right now. He needs to look into this. He might have something in his email he needs to address. Like, this is a big deal. So they started hitting you up directly. They've known you for a lot longer than I have, so they have like magic ways of getting in touch with you.
Then they actually
you
called me
started
via Discord, and that I usually have my phone on mute when I sleep. That night I had forgotten about it, luckily. So they actually called me in the group voice call via Discord, and I had gone to sleep like 1 or 2 a.m. that evening because I was sitting up late editing a couple of videos. I was a part of your premiere and also Illuminati premiere. I wanted to be active in the chats. I appeared in a couple of videos, and then like I got 2 hours of sleep, I think, and then I was woken up by that, and the first reaction I had was, "Guys, what are you doing? Is this about sad milk or something like that? You know my time, so what the fuck are you doing?"
Heck,
And they're
what
like,
the heck?
no, don't
Just
hang
gotta-
up, dude. Look at
gotta
your
beep that
channel.
out.
It's gone. Oh yeah, we're gonna have to bleep the frick sound.
No swears. Wholesome
swears.
Christian
Gotta keep-
Minecraft server over here.
Super wholesome Christian PG.
like 3 or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was so bad because I had slept for like 2 hours. I was woken up by that call, and it was like the worst feeling ever because I did not have the energy to deal with it. I was like, no sleep. I've been working way too hard. It was the day before Christmas, and I had decided to go YouTube full time 1 week before. So I quit my job 1 week before, and I'm sitting there like, what the hell? And I think what we did is that I looked through the emails, and the emails were actually delayed. I got them like 20 minutes past 4 in the morning, and it was only 2 emails. One email said like, upon further review, we have decided that your video deserves a community guideline strike, which is a video that was age restricted upon first review, and I censored some stuff in it and sent it in for a second review. So it was actually already looked at by YouTube. And then I got that email, which is also weird because on YouTube you usually get a warning before you get your strikes, and I never used up my warning. So that's like a weird process in the first place. And then a second email at the exact same time was dropped into the mailbox and said, your channel has been terminated due to severe abuse of sexual content, and basically stating that I did pornography on my channel, and that's why it was taken down.
And like the bad kind, like the kind that's
Yeah,
like
like the
immediate
really bad kind.
yank off the internet.
Yeah.
This human should not access the internet without using specific terms because, YouTube's bot might look at this video.
Oh yeah,
But,
but like the really bad stuff that is borderline illegal, really bad stuff. The stuff they won't even warn you for, the stuff they just terminate you for.
The stuff
the
where it's a
video-
lot safer to take it off the internet before any other human can see it. That kind of thing.
Yes, exactly. And I find that so weird because the video itself, I looked through it because I save all my videos. I have them saved locally, including all the files and visual materials I use. So I looked through the material, and it's like, there's nothing in here that could justify this strike. There's not even, they striked it for nudity and sexual content. Sure, I make a lot of innuendos and stuff in my videos, definitely. And I do this with my voice, which is like the vocal equivalent of, flirting with your eyebrows, I guess. But yeah, of course.
I've never heard it put that way before. That's amazing. Yeah,
of course. I
that
think
totally lines up.
Yeah, when you see someone across the bar is like raising their eyebrows. Now, hello there. How are you doing? It's like, yeah, it's the sound version of that. But for that video to get, even if it only got like a regular strike, I still think that would have been way over the top because I always censor all my nudity. I don't use like slurs. Sure, I use sexual humor, definitely. I would never deny that. But nothing that is graphic and nothing that is like even close to breaking guidelines. And then to take the entire channel down, is what? So out of nowhere.
It was very surprising to see that, especially since the worst you get is like when you say,
Oh wow, Ew.
in your radio voice. You get real close to the microphone, so it's right in someone's ear. My only thought is like some reviewer looked at that and went, "No, I don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable."
Yeah, something
It had
like
to
that.
have been.
It's so weird.
Yeah,
But yeah, I really hope the channel comes back. It would be demotivating to build it up again. I mean, it would work. I still have my videos saved, but it's also like, if I don't get it back, it's also scarier for the future, because then it means that someone can just take it down again, just like that, and it's impossible
Yes.
to get it back. So the
that
current
and the
status
fact when they
is that
emailed you and they said that you were no longer allowed to have a YouTube channel or create a
Yeah,
YouTube channel from that
that's
point
the
forward.
thing.
So
You can no longer own a YouTube channel in your own name if your first channel gets banned. So this channel, the podcast we do, even if we technically own the channel, both of us, or it's a collaboration, it's actually One Topic's name and all info that's like registered on the channel, because my channel isn't back, so I'm technically banned from YouTube.
A little bit,
there
but
you
I
go.
mean, they can't ban a human from the internet. So luckily, like as an example, Keemstar for a long time didn't own his own channel because YouTube had banned him. I'm not going to
of
dig into the
course.
drama. I don't know a lot of that around the scenarios, but at the time when something happened to the Clicks channel, a lot of us started looking to examples to draw from to say, this is kind of a messed up scenario. Maybe we can reach out to YouTube ourselves and try to get something going, which is when the tweets went out and and we all tried multiple times to get in touch with their team. But I mean, the closest you've got is some emails where they use like a template to respond, and we haven't heard
like
back.
the regular appeal. They have a regular appeal form that you use for stuff like, it's like strikes, video takedowns, that kind of stuff. And they just they didn't even look at it. They just sent an automated reply like, "Hey, we decided to keep your channel terminated. Here's a link to our guidelines." It's like you didn't even answer it, and you didn't even look at it. It's like, ugh. So
The challenging thing being that it was the holidays, so it's likely
Yes.
the strike team that's on board, headhunters, rather than the full moderator crew that's actually looking into this. So it's a little bit harder for them to, change a decision when they don't have the ability. We assume they don't have the ability to do that themselves.
Yes, it has been, long story short, it has been escalated right now. So I don't want to go into details about that, but it's been escalated with YouTube, and right now it looks like it's landing with the right team, but it's really slow because they have a backlog after the holidays and stuff.
Exactly.
But hopefully it goes up soon. But yeah, it's an ordeal. But it was bad timing with the holidays, because usually when stuff like this happens and a channel is wrongfully terminated, it can usually get restored within a day or two. But now everyone was on vacation, and the only one answering the appeals during that time was the initial team. And they already made up their mind. There's no point appealing to the same team. They already decided that video.
Oh, he made a penis joke. This is equivalent to pornographic content. Delete the channel. It's like, what?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, really frustrating. Once everything gets resolved, or at least we have finalized answers, we know what the steps forward are. I feel like we can address this again on the podcast, but I feel like we've said enough for now. We've pretty much gone into what happened, where you're at, and where people can find you for now, which is here. I mean, you'll be hanging out here. There's also a secret side.
Yeah, it's here. It's Sad Milk. It's Twitter. Oh yeah.
And we're actually working on that today. After we do this recording session with each other, we've actually got another one coming up.
That is
with
true.
Sad Milk, so that's really exciting.
We have a.
I
It's
think
like
that one
starting
will
in
probably
45
go
minutes.
up first. I don't know. Oh God, I still need coffee, man. I just woke up. What am I doing here?
But it's freaking. It's almost 1 a.m. for me. On the way home, I was actually out with a couple of buddies having a few beers. I'm not even completely sober right now. And I bought a 4-pack of Red Bull on my way home, and I'm just sitting here chugging energy drinks. Like, I need to stay up for this collab, man.
Well, to be fair, I stayed up just to hang out with you the other night, and that
That is
really
true, that
messed
is
with my
true.
sleep
So
schedule.
I do owe you this one. But what I think it was, one thing I want to say though is that during the day that my channel was taken down, like it was so, I really appreciate all you guys, because all of you sat in like a VC with me. It was you, it was Oz, Illuminati, Salty, Wonderstruck, and like just and just helped me through this whole thing. Just like helped me tweet out things with the appeals, with all that stuff. So that really means a lot to me. It kind of means that even at that point when my channel was gone, I obviously had nothing to give. I couldn't give anyone a sub boost. I couldn't make anyone any money. Nothing like, there was no business. And you guys were still there for me. And that means a lot. That really means a lot.
Absolutely. And I know that even other videos we've had recorded, we've had to either postpone or scrap entirely just because, there's no point directing people towards a channel that doesn't exist
Yeah.
right now if it's not going to help you. It's better to save that for when you're back. And I'm saying when you're back, to put those
Ooh.
out so that people can actually find you again. Because the challenging thing is not just like telling all of your subscribers that you're back, but also getting you back
Yeah.
into the algorithmic flow. So
Yeah, that's
what
what I'm
a
most
few of us are
worried
doing
about.
right now, whenever we have the opportunity, is just like slotting in little cameos from you and saying, yeah, he'll be back. Our friend, the Click, who is our friend,
Aw.
is not gone.
We're so wholesome. We do so many cursed things, but we're so wholesome at the core. Of it. I
All of
love
you
our
are
little,
cursed.
Yes,
I sit in a
yes.
corner and I just witness what happens. All of you ask why I'm quiet. All of you are why I'm quiet. I don't know what.
What do you
I
mean,
don't know
all of
why you
you?
bring me here? Why do you invite me? I'm like, I want to look at puppies. And you're like, let's do Noah get the boat again. I'm like, no. Let's do eye bleach. Let's do r/aw, please.
Oh yeah, let's go to a bit more wholesome. Let's go to Make Me Suffer.
Even when we did wholesome memes, the immediate thing you open with is like, ooh, whoa, topicy, wapicky, wholesome memes.
A wholesome daddy.
Yeah, that might have been it. I'm getting
Something like that, I
PTSD. Some flashbacks just remembering that.
Oh, that's good. That's how it's supposed to be.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
You
Well,
can't spell
this was,
PTSD
this is a pretty good session. We've actually been
without the D.
recording.
Um,
We've actually been recording for about 25 minutes now, which is really cool. How long do we want to make these podcast sessions?
I'm thinking we can aim this one for like half an hour. I guess. I think that's a good. I
Okay.
think that's a good like time length because then we don't like kill a subject, but it's still like
Yeah.
it's still long enough for people to put it on and you don't have to switch between episodes all the time.
And what the heck was the subject of this video? Monetization, I guess?
I think that was the first thing, and then we went into channel terminations, and yeah, it's a bit
Yeah.
it's a bit all over the place.
And our
but we
passion
can probably make
projects.
a good title. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. And at least this gives you something to work on while you're waiting for your main channel to come back up, is you've got this side project, which is our podcast, The Shipped Podcast, which
Oh yeah.
might even have a theme song. Who knows?
La la ship
One of the amazing-
podcast, you all ship it. Ah, frick yeah.
Yep, nailed it. First time. Cut it. That's awesome.
Oh yeah. There we go.
One of the
It's gonna be
artists,
so awkward.
that-
Like
One of the artists that actually worked on the artwork for my gaming channel, which I have not uploaded to in quite a while, so no one go looking for it, actually reached out to me and was like, hey, if you have any other projects you want me to work on, let me know. And I was like, oh, heck yeah, I've actually got this thing that's happening right now. What do you think about this? And they got super involved in the idea, whipped up the artwork for us, created that icon, all within about a day. And we've
Yeah, it
only
was
been making like
ridiculous.
minor adjustments since. They are
they were
incredibly fast
working
and so,
so
talented.
fast.
So shout out to Refcos. If you are on Twitter, go follow Refcos. I have
link down
shared their
below.
tweets a number of times, so definitely hit up Refcos. There's your shout out, buddy.
I was so impressed by it because you sent me like the initial sketches like I think a couple of days ago, and I was like, "Oh, this looks really good. I love this." And then like when I woke up the next day, my phone was filled up with messages like, "Here's the final thing." Like, what the? That was so quick. It was like I went to bed and then it was done.
Yeah, you
was
say
so
a couple
good.
days. From my side, that's still the same time zone. Like it was like that day.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, for you it was like early morning or something today.
Yeah. And we only changed like a few things, like some of the lettering, a little bit of the background color. That's about it. Everything else was just done.
It's spot on. I love the feeling of the artwork. You know, it's so like it really matches the vibe of this. Just hanging out, having a good time. Some cursed memes.
That's what we
I just-
usually do. Like, how often a week do we actually just call each other and hang out now? It's at least a handful of times. And that's
I think
outside
so.
of the main group chats that we have. We're always chilling. We're like, hey, a lot of people are looking for you. Why don't we start a podcast so that people can actually listen to what we hang out and talk about?
Yeah, this was like I love the fact that this podcast was like a joke we started teasing about, and I think it was one of your collab videos that we made. It was like you
Yeah,
left
it
in like a
was.
3-minute clip
One-
at the end.
one
like,
click at a
this
time.
is like podcast style talk. Oh my god.
It was awesome. And
Yeah,
people
don't
were
die now, man.
immediately
Jesus.
commenting in. I'm trying not to. I really am. But you know me, I did not sleep a lot because I'm still trying to balance a day job that has like 11-hour commitments a day. Trying to record my
Jesus.
videos, which takes about like an hour about an hour of research, and then about a half an hour to record, and then about 5 to 6 hours to edit. So it's like,
Yeah.
you know, I sleep sometimes, but I am trying not to die.
Yeah, sleeping with this kind of job is hard, and for me as well, because all the people I work with
Yeah.
are 9 hours
The
behind
other side
me.
of the world.
So, oh god, it's like I have to go nocturnal, like sleep during the day or something. Phew.
Such a boomer.
I am totally a boomer. We're such boomers. Yeah, yeet down with the kids squad, fam.
Oh, have
so
you
bad.
seen that news broadcast where they use all of the current slang of today?
Oh
And by
my-
current,
no,
I
I
mean
haven't,
like
but I'm-
outdated by at least 2 years. Hang on, I'll see if I
Oh
can find it
no,
for you.
no, no.
It is
So it's
amazing.
like swag, YOLO, yeah, bro.
News broadcast.
God.
Yeet. Hang on.
Oh
no. Come on. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, it's almost a minute long. Okay, please don't play in my ears. Okay. No, stop. Okay. I'm going to share this with you. I'm not recording my main audio, so here's the link.
All right, let's see. Oh god.
Good morning, CPS students. It is testing week, and it's time to slay all day.
Oh god.
Good morning, CPS students.
No,
It is
Jesus,
testing
no.
week, and it's time to
This is so like
I love
r
it
slash
when,
fellow
like-
kids.
I love it when young boomers are trying so hard. Like, they have such a wholesome
Yeah.
message. Is pay attention to your studies, stay safe out there, and if kids aren't interested in the news, let's try to make it interesting. Like, it's so nice of them, but it's so
Yeah, the
cringy.
thought is so wonderful, but it just, oh my god, it physically hurts to watch this.
I love the ending of it. Definitely finish it all the way through because it's
Here we
good.
go.
Need TPS schools to keep you from taking those tests.
So get a good night's sleep, do your best, in fact, be extra.
We here at WTOL
Oh,
are really
it's
proud
so-
of you.
oh,
Good
man,
luck on your
Oh no.
I feel like we
Okay,
can
at
show
least
this in
we're
the
not
video
At least we're not like
because
that
we're
yet.
commenting on it. No,
Yeah.
I'm not. Oh, well, heck, neither of us are that old. I mean, for the internet, I mean, everyone is
No, for
kind
the
of
internet,
old. We've all been exposed to so many
yeah.
things so quickly that our brains are expanded and so much more wrinkly than they would have been like a couple hundred years ago. Even a couple hundred years ago, living in a city, someone would have not have seen as much in maybe 5 years as we could potentially in a month. It's insane how much information is available to us. And all of us are kind of boomers. Let's be real, fam. Like, some people are
Of course.
Zoomer boomers, and some people are Boomer Zoomers.
Some are just boomers like us.
No!
No, I think that's
No,
that's
I feel-
actually a very interesting topic. It's definitely for another podcast, but the
Oh, for
challenge
sure.
is that that's something you got into when I was in university, and I did like a lot of statistical mathematics and machine learning, that kind of stuff. And what you realize is that today is that data is so incredibly abundant, but it's still so hard to decide what data you should use and how do you make the data
Yes.
unbiased and that kind of stuff. It's like, sure, we have shit tons of data, but nobody knows how to deal with it.
Heck tons of data. Edit
Okay.
that.
Heck.
Well, one of the easiest ways I can relate it to a real world experience, like, even though everyone can immediately understand what it's like to have that issue of having so much information, not knowing what they want to look into, imagine starting an open world RPG game where literally every option is available to you. You can turn 360 degrees, head off in any specific direction, but you know it's going to take a huge time investment to go in either one. You don't want to make the wrong decision, so you get something called choice paralysis, which is you have too many options in this open sandbox, so you just do nothing. And that's another one
Yeah.
of the issues, is that with anyone trying to cater an experience to us, we see it as censorship. But then with no catering, it's very difficult to see anything you'd ever be interested in. So one of the
No,
neat
it's just-
things YouTube
and
did a
it's
few
just
years ago.
anarchy.
Exactly. Like, one of the neat things that YouTube did, and pros and cons, obviously, but they started pushing things towards you that were more like the things that you would like to see. So when I open up
Yeah.
my homepage on YouTube, generally it's stuff I want to look at. Generally. But
Yeah, like 80,
uh,
90% of it, yeah.
But there can be an issue, say, if anyone else's watches a single video that's not in alignment with what you like, then boom, your whole homepage is ruined. So,
Yep.
so that and them tracking us, like, there's pros and cons.
Of course. I think one of the biggest cons with that kind of stuff is something that I started investigating it like a year back or so. and it's the fact that it's so easy to, if you're, for example, into more politics and stuff on the internet, it's so easy to get very extreme very fast. Because let's take a silly example. Let's take Trump, for example. Let's say you like him or hate him.
Is that what we're doing here?
Yeah, that's what we're doing. But let's say you are super. Let's say you love Trump, for example.
Exactly.
And you watch a
Yeah.
video that's pro-Trump. The next video in your feed is also going to be pro-Trump, and then the next video too, and the one after that. The truth is that the world is very nuanced, and there's like it's not black and white. Nothing is great, or nothing is all great, or nothing is all bad most of the time. But with an algorithm like that, you will get into a feed that shows you like this stuff over here is purely good and this stuff over here is purely bad. So the algorithm has a bit of a downside. It shows you what you want to see and is very good for bringing clicks. It's good for making money and it's good for customizing your homepage. But it's really bad for giving you a two-sided view about the world.
Exactly.
And I think that's something that not a lot of people talk about.
If you want to keep a horse on a path, you put blinders on it. And it's entrenching people in their views. Sure, it's kind of like a boomer way to look at it, but a lot of people bring up Fox News in America because it's so ubiquitously shown. When I go to the States, in every gym that I go to, in every bar that I go to, Fox News is constantly playing. And it shows everything from a hyper-conservative viewpoint to the point where they will try to debunk facts by saying things that are not true. And while news sources like CNN, largely, I would disagree with many of the ways they cover issues, they're at least covering things and showing factual arguments. Even when they're wrong, they're still showing a lot of facts that motivate people to empathize towards other humans. So while people see that as like a liberal standpoint, I feel like a lot of people today now, with the access of information being available at their fingertips, so much being readily available to them on the internet, they're actually feeling more for humanity. Like Team Trees, hashtag Team Trees just raised $20 million to plant 20 million trees.
Insane. That was so
we
good.
contributed a couple hundred trees from the One Topic at a Time channel. I know you were looking at donating as well. And like a lot of us pitched in together because we're like, this is an area that needs to be highlighted. We need to protect the people of tomorrow. And while 20 million trees in itself is not going to be a huge difference, any action towards positive change is the right decision. Whether that be
definitely.
telling Trump it's a bad idea to put people in cages, or whether that be planting trees, like empathizing towards your fellow human is the most important thing. And I could go on to this for days. I'm constantly talking about the positives of publicly available healthcare versus the negatives of privatized healthcare. But
This podcast is going to go political real fast, oh God.
but that comes from me working in a healthcare background to me working in tech and having all of that information available. Like I have two very differently informed viewpoints that are quite weird to jostle in my head sometimes, but it's just it's challenging. Like when I was working in healthcare, it was hard for me that everyone received healthcare, because that meant it was very difficult on the people working in healthcare to provide that care because it had to be spread out so wide. But then, triaging comes into place. Whereas if you have privatized healthcare, you have a much smaller list of individuals to help because not everyone gets taken care of. And that's a horrifying thing to see in a developed country.
Of course, yeah.
There's my
That's two very
viewpoint.
different
There's my
viewpoints.
politics. Let's take care of people
my
and
God.
not be butts.
No, you're so controversial. Domestic violence is also bad. That's only
There's a
only bold
controversial
statements on this channel.
Well, let's try to end on a positive note. Yeah, puppies
Okay.
are cute. I can't wait
Puppies
to get a
are
dog.
cute.
You actually have a cat, don't you?
I own it's technically my parents' cat. I just take care of it quite a lot. It's really big. It's a Maine Coon. It's the biggest cat species in the world. And this
It's a Maine Coon.
Yes. A fun story. It's actually called Maine Coon because they discovered it in Maine in the U.S. and they thought it was a crossbreed with raccoons because it's so big.
Wow.
Obviously, that's not true. I don't know who made that up, but that's at least a story I heard. So it's like, that's why they're called Maine Coons. And I think an average male is like 8 kilos, which is approximately 16 pounds. But this kitty cat that we have, when it was the heaviest, it weighed like 13 and a half. So that's like almost 30 pounds.
It's like a toddler.
Yeah, it's like a toddler, like a medium dog. and it recently got diabetes. So I spent half my Christmas vacation giving this cat insulin shots twice a day.
I apologize in the editing of this because my audio is the air just turned on in my home, and I have no way of localizing my audio recording to an area that doesn't have air constantly rushing through it because I live in the basement. So I apologize for noise, but yeah, there might be some rustling in the
get to
background.
move out
I
of the
love
basement
cats.
once
Maine
it-
Coons are beautiful animals.
They are.
They're
so beautiful.
I mean, we have so many big cats in Canada. Cougars, pumas, mountain lions. They're all the same thing, but they are so gorgeous. I just had one in an eye bleach video. I featured one that was playing with. It was playing the shell game, where you hide something underneath a cup, and you have 3 cups. You mix up the cups, and then whoever's playing the game has to guess which cup the
I
thing
think I've seen
disappeared
that
under.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, and it used a toy, and it guessed the wrong cup, and it looked so disappointed and confused, but then moved to the right one, and then it was like, I found it, I did so well.
Oh, that's so cute. I love that. Oh,
It was the best.
That makes my brain happy.
What's the name of our fan base here?
Oh yeah, we have to call them something. So I call mine Ladis, Lasses, and Lassos, and you call yours Beardos and
Beardos and Weirdos. Yeah.
Brassos?
Brass. Shippers?
Shippers. Oh yeah, that's good. Or like, well, it is shipping, which is kind of like a ship. Crewmates?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Ooh. What's up,
Ahoy.
crewmates? Ooh,
That
ahoy,
is good.
crewmates.
That is good. That is freaking good. Ahoy, crewmates! Welcome to a ship podcast. Yar.
Alexander Graham Bell wanted people, instead of saying hello on phones, to instead say ahoy hoy whenever addressing a phone, because it was more like a naval term, and he thought that was kind of cool.
We have to do that when we invite guests.
This is
on.
a
Can you
fun
imagine, like,
side fact.
Can you imagine when we hit on? Well, we can do
Hit
that
on?
too, I guess, if we want to
No.
make it uncomfortable. But when we hit up Illuminati and invite her on here, you can be like, "Oh hi,
Oh,
hi," as soon as
yeah.
she picks up, and she'll be like, "What's wrong with you guys? Jesus Christ!"
Ahoy hoy, crewmate.
Yar,
Yar.
yar me.
Yeah, that's gonna be
hearties.
fun.
Oh yeah, pirate themed freaking podcast.
All right, crewmates, we have just a couple minutes before we're going to be recording for Sad Milk, so I'm actually going to dip out. I need coffee. I need drinks. You have a box of energy drinks, Click. I need to
Yes,
also match your energy levels right now.
I'm gonna be so.
And I just realized the top of the aquarium for where my tarantula lives is off. Oh,
Oh,
so I should probably go look for her. Okay, so that's going to be my afternoon.
oh, nice. Yeah, keep it out of your pants, good sir. It's
Oh, jeez. Let's not do that
yes.
here.
mhm.
Oh, Click, this was a lot of fun. I'm glad that we're working on something that we can start showing to people that are looking for you.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I love working on it in either case. I mean, this is something that I want to keep going even when the channel comes back. It's not.
Oh, heck yeah. It's not a
really
temporary
fun.
thing.
No. It's a really fun side project, and I think it brings another depth to what we do online. It's not
Uh-oh.
only reacting to memes. We can actually
Uh-oh,
sit
your
and discuss
internet's
things
dying.
and have like. Oh, the internet's dying.
I can't even hear you. Oh, no.
Hello.
Click.
Hello. Testing.
Click.
Testing. I can hear you. I can hear you. Oh,
Oh,
God.
okay. I can hear you now. I can hear you.
I can hear you.
I love it
Right.
because oh, you texted that to me.
Yes.
I love that our artwork is us like sitting across from each other, but really we're on the other side of the world from one another.
Yes. It's a very long couch. It stretches across the Atlantic. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah. All right, Click. This
no-
is fun. Let's do it again soon.
Yes, definitely. And all you crewmates home there, take care and have a lovely day, night time, or whatever time you live. And we will see you in the next one.
And subscribe. Subscribe. Oh my God, we went this whole podcast without saying subscribe. Okay, bye.
comment, and subscribe. Goodbye. Oh yeah, don't forget the sub button. That sub button yearns for your Click. Mwah.